So I want to talk about money a little bit. Several years ago, would you help me do this? Several years ago, I posted a video on YouTube, and I felt like it became overnight like one of the most hated individuals on the planet. And it's because I went out in the summer with my daughter, Liesel, and we wanted to have a money bath. So I filled up the pool. It was a kiddie pool like this, except it had like turtles and cute shapes on it. And I threw $10,000 in the water, and my daughter and I went out there in the money, like this. And we started dancing and playing and having fun. She's in her bathing suit. We're throwing the money in the air. And I am programming my daughter because as her parent, it is my right to screw my own child up in whatever way I choose. Listen, if you didn't know it, we are all in a brainwash seminar. Did you get it? Like we're here to wash the brain. We're cleaning what doesn't work. Okay, so I was doing this thing with my daughter because I'm like, you know, me personally, there's some things in life that we get to be super gifted at, right? Everyone here has like really obvious gifts. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but money always came super easy. And I want to tell you about what happened with my daughter and then a little bit of how the circumstance came about. And as I'm doing this dance and I'm feeding my daughter these words and I'm saying, okay, honey, repeat after me. With money, we can serve people. With money, we can live an awesome life. We can travel. We can go on vacations. We can help people. With money, we can do good things. And I'm putting these ideas, and she's getting into it, and she's having fun, and she's dancing around. I post this video, and within about a week, I actually ended up taking the video down because I was so surprised at how many people were triggered and how much hate mail went along with this concept of, you know, who people are if they have money. Now, I don't want to talk about this green paper right now. I want to talk about money the way I see money. I want to talk about it as a resource. Money is one of many resources. How many of you in this room have dreams? Come on now. How many of you got dreams? You got dreams. What will it take to achieve your dreams? It takes resources. Is money a resource? But what is one of the most powerful resources? People. Dreams happen with the most priceless commodity on the planet, human beings. You see this right here? All I got is a picture of a dude, but it's not a brain that can think. Money is only what you want it to be. It's neutral. It's just paper. And notice what came up for this woman here. What's your name again? For Amy, when she just even started holding the money, it's like all the triggers and all the garbage starts coming up saying that there's some kind of problem with me having this level of proximity to money. But what if you could be in the presence of hundreds of millions of dollars and it just remained neutral green paper? What if it was no different than human beings? What if it was no different than another one of the resources that could make it possible for you to accomplish your dreams? So a little bit later today, not too far down the road, we're going to give some of you an opportunity to have the chance to swim in this money. And we're going to play some games. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some things like I did with my daughter. And the reason why we're going to do that is because it is one of the most powerful ways to trigger what is broken financially and what is not working. Are you starting to get right now that what you believe is what you bring about? So you wrote down a crazy list of powerful concepts around money. And what I want to do right now is I want to give you an opportunity to turn them around. Let's take that nasty, vile concept and turn it into something really beautiful. So someone shout out one of the limiting beliefs that you wrote down. What was it? I don't deserve it. What would be a much healthier belief that could allow money to come in your life? I deserve all I need is an option. I deserve it as an option. What else? I deserve abundance. Deserve is a really interesting word because it is something that does in fact get created, and there are things that we do to attract it. So rather than this entitlement, there's some different language that we can use. Limitless wealth easily flows into my life. Money easily and effortlessly comes into my life. I accept it. I embrace it. I love spending it. I love saving it. I love investing it. I love being at choice with money. What are some of the others that you wrote down? Limiting beliefs. Money can't buy happiness. I like that one. Happiness can't buy money. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, and I don't know if right now in this moment I'm going to really upset a ton of people, but this money, this buys all sorts of happy opportunities for me. Like, I'm sorry, listen, I'll tell you that I'm Christian, I'm hardcore in my belief system with God, but money absolutely buys happiness. Are you kidding me? Last month I took my kids to Disney World. It took money. A couple weeks ago I went on a hunting trip and I got to pick out the biggest trophy bull elk that they had on that property in Idaho. That was a really expensive hunt by some people's standards. It's just money. So whether it's traveling the world, whether it's organizing a charity, whether it's playing with people, whether it's having we've rented a presidential suite upstairs. The presidential suite is much bigger than me trying to get all my staff into a small room as an appreciation lunch is taking place, right? How did we afford the difference? Money is one of the resources, and people are another powerful resource. So the question isn't about money being good or bad. The question is, are you willing to become resourceful? Because here's the deal. All of you have dreams. And many of us in this room, we stopped working on our dreams at one point in life. And we came up with excuses. You've written down a bunch of them right now. Here's a little bit about my journey. When I was 22 years old, I found myself newly married to my wife, Colleen. Colleen is here with us. Here she is. By the way, my wife just doulaed her sister-in-law's baby in the last 2 hours, and she's back at the event. So this woman is absolutely amazing to me. And when we first got married, I had sold her on this idea that I'm going to be a doctor because I had gotten good grades in high school and I started taking my pre-med classes. And my wife's like, hey, that's great because I came from a roughly financially well-to-do, educated family, and my dad was able to provide for us. And so we start getting along on our journey trying to figure out how we do life. And I'll tell you what, after trying to just even get some basic good grades on a couple of my pre-med classes, I kept getting C's. I retook my organic chemistry class and I got a C minus. Like I did worse on the class in the second attempt to taking it. And I finally listened to my advisor. I went home and I had a heavy, heavy heart. I had my bike with me and I went home and I told my wife, I said, honey, I'm not going to be a doctor. And even though I felt crushed, she didn't. Like this wonderful woman chose to believe in more of the man she saw than the career he was going to have. And that gave me hope. I honestly, because we only had known each other like a year and a half at that point. I'm like, okay, this is good. I can rearrange this, but at the same time, I had this full-time job I had my dream job at the time, telemarketing. And doing that job and deciding I wasn't going to be a doctor and talking all day long to people that didn't want to talk to me, it came to a head where I was just having a really nasty, rotten day. Because back then I believed in bad days. And I came home from one of these really bad days and I was totally surprised to find my wife in tears. And these tears were the kind of tears where I thought someone must have died. Like reverence, be calm, be quiet, just soak it all up. How can you support? And when I asked her what was wrong, she said, Chris, tuition's due in 3 weeks. And I don't know how we're going to pay that because rent is due in 5 days and we can't pay it. We know what your paycheck's going to be. It will not cover it. And on top of that, she did not have the money to go grocery shopping. And in that moment, I took on some awesome limiting beliefs. You want to hear them? Here's what I decided about myself. I am pathetic. I don't measure up as a man. I let my wife down. I'm not good enough. I'll never have enough. I'll never be enough. And I felt about this big that day. Interesting that rather than chasing down those limiting beliefs and magnifying them, I went on a different journey. I decided I will do whatever it takes to never have to feel that way again. And without going into all the details, 4.5 years later, just 1 year after I graduated college at the Y, I retired. I had a portfolio of real estate homes that were paying me about $12,000 a month, and I'll never forget. So my wife and I had just moved into our brand new house. It's about 10,000 square feet right on the golf course, right outside Provo Canyon. It's a really beautiful location. And I was getting in my BMW convertible to take it to work for the last time. And I brought a box with me because I was going to take all of my stuff and tell my boss that I was done. Well, I walked into his office. He said, "We got meetings. It's Monday morning. It's not a good time." And I said, "No, we really need to talk this moment." And I sat down with him and very nervously said, "Hey, I need you to do something for me. I need a raise." And he kind of gave me that look like some bosses do when you ask for a raise. And then I said, "A $70,000 raise." And he laughed. He laughed, and when he laughed, I laughed with him. Do you know why I laughed with him? I was done. In fact, I had my box and I hardly took anything home. I left it on the shelf. I was starting a whole new life. And from that moment on, I breathed some of the freshest air that I ever had because my entrepreneurial spirit and the blessings had set me free. Never, ever again, ever needed to work. Was totally done off the grid. My portfolio went from 25 homes to 50 homes, 50 homes to 100 homes, 100 homes to hundreds of homes. I mean, it was incredible. Then we set up this company, and we've done $500 million worth of real estate with my clientele in the last 8 years, all around the country, setting them up on the same path to be totally financially free. Is that pretty amazing? It's amazing. And at times I pulled myself out of retirement, and Limitless is another one of those moments where there's a dream that is so much bigger. And I look at this wealth, and this opportunity, this experience for some of you in a moment is going to be a really powerful game changer. In fact, we have someone just getting ready to join our very tight inner circle. His name is Jason Westover. And so Jason Westover is actually out finishing up a project in the Midwest and then coming back with the funds for joining the inner circle. And Jason said, "Chris, you sat me in that money bath with $15 to my name and 9 months behind on my obligations. And in 30 days, I manifested $34,000. Because something happened in this bath that switched the light bulb on. So here's what you got to do. One of your homework assignments is to take every one of these limiting beliefs about money, and instead of getting emotionally attached, there's really some real big meaning behind the idea, what if it's nothing more than an idea? What if you're totally emotionally up in arms about this idea, I shouldn't have money? Well, it's just an idea, and there was an emotional moment in your life where you took on that limiting belief, and bam, there's the formula for change. Permanent change. Take an emotional experience, take any belief, good, bad, negative, indifferent, and it's going to stick. Our emotional moments drive this brain in the decisions that we lead our life with. It's why some of you are totally disconnected and cannot connect with people. It's why some of you must be poor for your world to make sense. It's why some of you have to be in relationships where you fight. And for others, even if you diet, you're going to gain weight. That's how powerful you are. That's how powerful we all are. And we are misaligned with these ideas that conflict each other. And when it comes to money, one of the reasons why I'm really passionate about it is there are some things you can't fake. I can tell you have an amazing marriage with my wife, and then you'd either believe it or not. Maybe you'd look at the way I interact with her and wonder, is he holding her hand because he really cares to, or is it part of a facade? I guess you'll never know. But there's a couple things you can't fake. You can't fake a six-pack. Airbrush. You can't fake it. You either got it or you don't. You can see it. And money is the exact same way. You can either see it or you don't. So one of the things that I love about money, just one of the things that I love about money, just trying to trigger a few of you. One of the things that I love about money is that it ends up being a beautiful expression for where your belief system is at when? Right now.